It began with a beat no one could hear, in a time when silence was sacred. On June 24th, 1374, in the German town of Aachen, a crowd gathered to celebrate the feast of St. John the Baptist. But then something strange happened. Without warning, dozens of people began to dance, wildly, uncontrollably, as if possessed. Their feet pounded the cobblestones. Their arms flailed in rhythm with music that wasn't playing. They danced until they collapsed, sobbing or screaming or completely silent. And then more rose to join them. This was no celebration. It was the start of a mysterious epidemic that would sweep across Europe. In the aftermath of the Black Death, which had killed millions across the continent just a generation earlier, Europe was a place scarred by trauma. Communities were fragile, superstitions strong, and the border between the physical and spiritual worlds felt paper-thin. The towns along the Rhine, Aachen, Cologne, Metz, Strasbourg, were connected by trade routes and pilgrimage roads. When the dancers began to move from city to city, they didn't just carry their bodies, they carried the mania. By midsummer, thousands had joined the strange processions. Men, women, and even children danced in long chains through the streets of Flanders and the Low Countries, singing, shouting, and convulsing. Eyewitnesses reported dancers hallucinating, foaming at the mouth, or calling out the names of demons. Some gripped sticks like weapons. Others collapsed from exhaustion, their bodies bruised and broken. And still, more took their place. Local authorities were stunned. Priests tried exorcisms. Monks organized processions to the shrines of St. Vitus and St. John. Families locked their loved ones indoors. But nothing worked. The dance could last for hours, sometimes days, and in some tragic cases, end in death. Contemporary observers believed these people were cursed or possessed. To many, it was divine punishment. To others, a collective madness. Modern scholars have proposed explanations. Some suggest ergot poisoning, caused by a hallucinogenic mold that grows on damp rye bread. Others blame mass psychogenic illness, a form of shared hysteria triggered by extreme stress, poor living conditions, and religious fear. A few have even speculated about epilepsy or trance states brought on by repetitive movement and communal ritual. But no theory explains everything. The symptoms, scale, and speed of spread remain puzzling, and the lack of reliable medical records from the 14th century only deepens the mystery. By autumn, the wave of dancing began to subside. No one kept an official count of how many died, or how many simply stopped dancing and tried to return to normal life. But the memory lingered. In 1518, another dancing plague would erupt in Strasbourg, eerily similar, equally baffling. And in 1962, students in Tanzania would fall into fits of uncontrollable laughter, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. Different centuries, different symptoms, but perhaps the same root. A collective need to release fear, trauma, and helplessness through the only motion the body could sustain. The Dancing Mania of 1374 remains one of history's strangest episodes, a reminder that the mind and body, under enough pressure, can unravel in ways no one expects. There was no cure, no true relief, only the dance. If you liked what you watched, please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's craziness, because yesterday was crazy too.